Okay, so good day everyone. Today I'll be discussing to you the introduction to science, technology, and society. Okay, now what is STS? What do we mean by science, technology, and society? So when we say science, technology, and society, it is a broad topic that encompasses the intersections among these three fields of discipline. So we have the science, we have the technology, and society. And STS involves deep appreciation and critical understanding of the role of science and technology in the development of people and the society. Now, have you tried to walk in a long distance? Do your assignments in a dark room? Have you tried to cook your food in a wood? Perhaps some of you may say yes, and most of you may say no. But then you must be thankful that you aren't experienced these kinds of situations wherein these were the days experienced by our ancestors. So if you try to think of it in terms of a lifestyle, past is really harder than of the present. So the evolution of science is like a boon to the world. So when we say boon, something beneficial, something useful. How does the evolution of science then useful in the fields of medicine, agriculture, education, and information and technology? Okay, first in medicine. In ancient times, people used herbal plants to cure diseases. But now, there are so many medical technologies being used today to treat various diseases. Since there's no medicine to treat cancer, right? But today, there's already treatment that have been discovered since science is evolving. How about in the field in agriculture? Okay, so early people, especially farmers, used plow in farming. But in modern times, farmers use tractors and other technologies applied in agriculture. Okay, at some point maybe they use these technologies because it is more efficient, easier, and less manual labor. Okay, so let's proceed with education. For example, what I am using right now in teaching, what you are using right now in learning is because of the evolution of science. How about in information and technology? Okay, why we have this mode of teaching and learning? Yes, it's also because of the evolution of science. If science do not evolve, then there will be no technological advancement. Okay, so what is science then? The first one is that science is both a body of knowledge and a process. Yes, science is a subject, it is a discipline, it is a field of study that deals with the process of learning both the physical and the natural world. So the second one, it was originally called the philosophy of the natural world since it was stemmed by the Greeks' desire to know the nature. The third one, science fundamentally is the systematic study. So when we say systematic, organized, the structure and behavior of the natural and the physical world through observations and experiments. Okay, so science links with the experiments, science links with observations, science links with discoveries, and also science links with processes. The fourth one, study of science evolved with the civilization of human beings. So later on, I'll be discussing to you the different civilizations that have been existed in ancient times. Okay, now that you know what science is, how about technology? What is technology? So when we say technology, is basically derived from the Greek word technologia, is an art, skill or ability which is used to create and develop products and acquire knowledge. So simply, technology is the application of science. I repeat, technology is the application of science. So without science, there will be no technology at all. Take note that science is the cause, the reason, the parent of technology, and technology is the product, okay, the child of science. Okay, so let's have here the contribution of science to technology. Science as a direct source of new technological ideas. For example, innovation and development medical instruments. That's okay. Anyway, what do we mean by innovation? Okay, so when we say innovation, it's the process of innovating, just to create something new. So why does some experts and even scientists do such innovations? Okay, so for some reason, maybe for example in cell phone, why we have these latest updates in cell phones, because they are trying to find for better features, maybe for better cameras, longer battery life. So in other words, they are trying to develop better products to the people that's seeking for improvements. Okay, science as a source of engineering. So most of the technical knowledge used in the designing and development of tools and techniques is an outcome of engineering science. So what engineers usually do? They applied scientific and mathematical way in order to operate objects. Anyway, what is the difference between an engineer and an architect? So when we say engineer, it's more on the structure, while in architect, more on the style, the design, or the artistry of the building. So an engineer ensures that the design made by an architect works with the scientific principles. Okay, so let's have the contribution of technology to science. So consider the following points to understand the contribution of technology to science. First, technology as a source of scientific challenges. So the development in the field of technology paves way for research and development in the field of science. For example, space science. Isn't it that when we were in elementary, our teacher, specifically our science teacher, taught us that Mars was unsafe for us. But because of these scientific challenges, because of these scientists who conduct a sort of research, now they prove that Mars was already safe for us. But how can they do that? Huh? Yes, because of technologies. You're right. There are technologies used in Mars to detect weather conditions, soil, even water to prove that Mars really safe for us. Okay, so next, the instrumentation and measurement techniques. So, development of advanced instruments facilitated scientists to measure the distance between Sun and Earth, the intensity of sun rays, the revolution of celestial bodies, internal problems of human beings, life of average. Okay, so in here, scientists cannot measure or even to determine the distance of the different planets from the sun without these instruments or any measurement techniques. But they can only do that with the help of technologies. Yes. So it's very important for us people to have a knowledge in science, because without it, we are all living in ignorance. Without science, our work would not be so easy. Thus, technology makes our work easier. Okay, so this is only the introduction to science, technology, and society. The next video would be the historical antecedents in the world and in the Philippines. Thank you for listening.